Yeah, I think so. Like fairly, but
All right, I call this meeting to order at 5 p.m. Senator Williams, can you lead us in the fight song, please? All right, moving into the roll call, Senator General Jallo.
President Colquitt,
Present.
Vice President Bell, Treasurer Nonga, Chief of Staff Okoma, Deputy Chief of Staff Moore, Director Hammond, Assistant Director Dobbin, Director Sani, Assistant Director Bacha, Director Battle, Assistant Director Parker, Assistant Director Parker, oh. Director Troy, Assistant Director Campbell, Director Farmer, Assistant Director Johnson, Director Johnstone, Assistant Director M. Cambuzi, Director Edwards, Assistant Director Dixon, Director Thompson, Assistant Director Moore, Director Etienne, Assistant Director Fletcher, Director Rusanya, Assistant Director Abdul, Director Adewale, Assistant Director Ajayi, Director Brown, Representative Tang, Representative Linsky, Representative Lewis, Representative Johnson, Representative Entwistle, Representative Thompson, Representative Robinson, Designer Akakpo, President Pro Tempore Rhymes, Senator Charles Duru, Appropriations Chair White, Senator Liu, Senator So,
Present.
Senator Agumezi, Senator Chen, Government Operations Chair Crosby,
Present.
Senator Uma,
Present.
Senator Holland, Senator Bendu, Senator Jackson, Senator Weems, Senator Gentry,
Present.
Senator Thatch,
Present.
Senator Vivian Wilson, Chief Justice Bennett, Deputy Chief Justice Olaniyan, Associate Justice Brisbane, Associate Justice Sonia,
right, moving into the approval of minutes. Are there any? Great, I'm seeing, none. Okay. All right, okay. Are there any members to the agenda? Progress Chair White. Go off, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just one, I'm moving to add finance bill number 2 to new business.
All right, is there a second? Second, the motion, just a second. I'll move into a vote to add finance bill 2 to the agenda. All those in, oh, God. Give it one second. There we go. All right, all those in favor? All those opposed? All those abstaining? All right, with that, finance bill number 2 has been added to the agenda. Are there any more members to the agenda? Hearing none, seeing none, moving to guest speakers. All right, our guest speaker today is our very own Dr. Ginsburg. He is 15th president of Towson University. So, you doing wrong?
I did about 2 minutes late. I almost missed the meeting, so you guys are very prompt with that. For sure. I didn't take a picture of the I love to tweet out that. So it's good governance. Everybody smile. Hang on a second. It's okay with you? All right, hang on a second. Okay, perfect. All right. Well, I hear you're live streaming this, so I've got to talk to the microphone. Is that right, Sean? All right. And Jordan, you're back. You're back. That's how you're getting ready to get an airplane, and the long trip is over. Welcome back. Welcome back. Well, this is my 6th week as president of Towson University. I may be the 15th president, but it's the 6th week. And it's been a great 6 weeks, and it's great to have a chance to meet you. So first and foremost, let me say the semester is coming to a close quickly. So hope everybody is studying hard, getting ready for finals, writing those last papers. They're shaking their heads. Yes. Anybody say no? Or you wouldn't tell me if you were no anyway, right? That wouldn't be the case. Well, it's really great to have a chance because I want to share with you just a couple of things. I think great universities are led by their mission, but led by their values. And the first value that I think is critical for Towson University is that students come first. I think that's the value that every great university should have, but it's the value that we will have, is that students come first. And the second value that I think is really important and characterizes great universities is that we thrive together. That the community is important, that each and every member of the community is important for the community, and the community is important for each and every member of the community. And so before I get started and we talk about issues, and I know you have some questions for me, and I'm happy to chat and be here as long as you have time on your agenda, because Sean, it looks like you got a bunch of stuff on your agenda. How much time do we have? Maybe you should tell me that.
About 20 minutes.
Okay, well, you tell me, and whenever you want to cut me off, just get the hook, okay? And tell me to jump on. So those are really important values, and hopefully you've seen me around campus. I was appointed to this position the first week in August. I was out of the country at the time, came back, and from about the end of August until October 30th, when I actually began, I came to campus and spent about a day or 2 days a week, just on campus. But before I came and was appointed, some of you maybe heard me say this, so if I'm repeating it, forgive me. For some of you may have not heard it, is as part of the search process, I wanted to discover what Towson University was all about. Not what it did, because I could see that on the website, not the programs, because I could read that on the website, but I wanted to have a sense of what Towson University felt like, what it felt like to be on campus. What was the affect or the emotional experience? You know, my own background, I'm a psychologist, so I'm into emotions. And so I came up one afternoon on August, or actually it was late July, day, just wearing t-shirts and a short and sandals, not dressed like this, and just walked around. And what I found then was what I've experienced since, that this is a very special place with very special people who are especially committed to creating a community that want to be part of something special where there's passion, there's a sense of inspiration, there's a sense of interconnectedness between people. And I discovered from that walk around the campus back in the summer, as the search process was just unfolding, that it was a place that I wanted to be. You know, I spent the last 14 years at George Mason University, much like Towson University, a minority-majority university, a university committed to excellence, a university committed to the opportunity of its members. But I felt Towson had that specialness that reminded me of where I was home for 14 years at Mason. And I discovered I really wanted to be here. And I was just thrilled the early part of August to receive a call from Chancellor Furman inviting me to join the university. And I've never looked back. I'm only looking forward, trying to look into the window, not into the mirror. At the same time, trying to understand where the universities come from. Because I think as we move forward as a university, it's important to understand our traditions, our history, our legacy, if you will. But at the same time, to appreciate and respect the legacy, but to move from the legacy. So one of the things I've been talking to groups about quite a bit since joining is that I think it's important that we continue the very best of what is Towson University, but we also be open to change. Be open to change for what could be the best future for Towson University. Not just looking into the mirror in terms of the past, but looking into the windshield of what could be. And so I've been saying, and some of you may have heard me say this before, if I have said it before and you've been in my presence, forgive me, but I think our agenda for the university is how we together, not separately, but together, how we make a great university a greater university. How we make a great university a greater university. And so I've been really pleased in walking around the campus to living in a residence hall building. Some of you know where my wife and I are living in the 10 West complex, to eating many of our meals in the dining room, just sitting down and talking with students. Maybe you've seen us in the dining halls. Hopefully you have, but if you haven't yet, and you see us in the dining halls, you happen to be there at the same time we are, I'm there or she's there, stop us. Say hello, sit down with us, have a cup of coffee, have a sandwich, have something, because we really want to meet people. It's our wish, Elaine is my wife, the two of us, it's really our wish to be members of this community, to be participants, to be embedded, to be part of this community. Not just to be the president of the university, but to be a member of this community. And so hopefully you've seen us around. And the agenda that I have over the coming few months is a pretty simple one, really, but when you think about it, it's pretty complex. The agenda is to listen. And I've also repeatedly said that listening is important, needs to hear. One needs to hear what's being said. But that's also necessary, but not sufficient, because what I'm really after is not just listening and hearing to what you and others are saying. What I'm really after is trying to understand your perspective, to understand what your wish, your dream, your vision, your aspiration, what you hope for this university going forward, because we're going to make this university the greatest university that it can be, but we're going to do it by doing it together. We're going to do it by sharing our visions, by creating a shared vision, by caring for each other. You know, the definition of caring is one of the things that I think is really important. And as part of a community that's called Towson University, I also want this community to be a caring community. So caring at its essence, in my view, in the view of others who've written about caring, is helping others to grow, helping others to reach their full potential. That's what I hope for this community. That's what I hope for each of you as students at Towson University, that you'll come here with an idea of where you want to go. You'll come here at point A. You'll have a vision for what your point B will be when you graduate and leave. But most importantly, that you'll fulfill that vision, that you'll reach your potential, and you'll look back at your times at this university as generative moments in your life. What I mean by that, generative moments that change your life, generative moments that position you for success in the future. Because that's what great universities do. Great universities provide a fertile ground. They're a petri dish, if you will, for your own self-development, for your personal development, not just for your career development, but for your career development too. And so over the coming months, we'll be embarking, myself and others, Dr. Hurt is here, my great colleague, Vice President for Student Affairs at the university. We'll be listening. We'll be trying to hear what you have to say, but most importantly, we want to understand what your perspective is. Had a chance to spend quite a bit of time with Jordan and Sean. It's been great to get to know you both. Two really impressive young men who are impressive, going to serve our country, going through the ROTC program, but are going to, I think, begin a lifetime of service, not just to our country, but a lifetime of service to each other. And I think that's really what it's all about, is for our university to provide a context, to provide a grounding, to provide what I often talk about is access to opportunity, the opportunity of a lifetime, and the opportunities to train, to educate yourself for a lifetime of success. A more formal opportunity to have a bit of a town hall-like setting that Dr. Hurt will join me to meet with leaders of SGA as well as the Graduate Student Association, and for us to host a conversation to hear about that shared sense of vision that you do have, not you will have, because I know you all have that shared sense of vision now. And so let me close by saying it's the greatest honor of my career. This is the last and final chapter, the last and final stop of a career that's been over 40 years. I'm really proud to be at Towson. We're really thrilled, my wife and I, to be here. Look forward to getting to know you, not just to meet you and shake hands, but I really look forward to getting to know you. So when you see us, stop us. When you see us, stop us and talk with us. When you see us, stop us and engage with us so that we can get to know each other. I really want to learn your perspectives. And so Jordan and Sean, thank you for the invitation to join you tonight. I had some notes. I probably got through half of them. I kind of rambled on, but I wanted you to have that chance to do it, to at least get a chance to hear from me a little bit. So I know there's some questions. Somebody told me there were a couple of pre-planned questions. Is that right? I'm happy to take those and engage in anything you'd like to do. Unless I used my 20 minutes already, did I?
Yeah, that'll be on Thursday.
That'll be on Thursday. Oh, that's not tonight. Okay.
No, that's Thursday, and
Okay.
people are more than welcome to give us some questions today.
Great. Yes.
Any questions? Government Operations Chair Crosby.
Nice to talk to you again.
Mr. Chairman, so good to see you.
Yes, yes. So I know one thing that's becoming a bigger conversation on our campus is student life on campus, and more importantly, mental health. And I just want to know, what are some of your plans or the university's plans to improve that, and more importantly,
Great
the university's opinion on our bill that we just passed, the mental health day bill that we passed?
Yeah, well, I think first of all, let me say this, that I think students, I mean, I consider myself still a student. All of us who are learners are always going to be students. And so I think we have to provide for all of our students who are enrolled in our academic programs and those who come here to learn. We have to provide them with an environment that's conducive to their learning, and an environment that promotes not only their academic learning, but their wellness and their satisfaction in life, their emotional health, their social and well-being, as well as their intellectual well-being. And so I think we have to do that through a variety of means. I mean, this is kind of my area of expertise, being a clinical psychologist. But I don't think it's all about going for psychotherapy and going to the clinic. I think it's about providing a context, if you will, a place that's a healthy place, a community that's a healthy community, a community that can provide the impetus for each member of the community to thrive, not just to survive, but to thrive. And so I think we have to do that through a lot of different ways, certainly by providing the opportunity for clinical services when they can be helpful, but providing other dimensions of a community that allow people to have the satisfaction in life that drives them to success. In terms of the bill, I actually have some concerns about the bill because I'm not sure you can schedule these things. I think it's a broader issue of providing a context. So we'll have more conversation about that, because I don't know what I need to do before I can really frame my own personal perspective on the bill is to understand your perspectives on the bill. Because as I said before, I think listening and hearing leads to understanding. And I suspect that the impetus for the bill came because of something. It came because of something. So rather than respond to what the bill says, I'd really like to understand what prompted it so that we can address the issues that prompted it, whether or not it's the solution that was created or perhaps some other solution. So that's why my concern is to think about what are the options and what are the ways we can go about addressing the issue that underlies the direction.
I was just gonna say, me myself as a bill writer, I know the other bill writers in the room, we would love to sit, pick your
Let's
brain.
do that. Let's do that. Absolutely.
Thank you,
So
sir.
let's do that. Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. It's a very formal meeting. I like this. I like this. I like this.
Any more questions for Dr. Ginsburg?
Yes, sir.
Appropriations Chair White.
Another chair. Okay.
Mr. President, thank you.
You can call me Mark. It's okay.
With the uptake in security issues on and around campus,
Yeah.
Is the university looking into any other ways to try to make the campus safer? It's safe, but
You know, statistically, it really is safe. I met actually this afternoon with the county executive to talk about the very same issues. The incident that happened the other night was not good, but it was not a random act, so it turns out. And I can't go into all the details because I don't know if there's an investigation ongoing, but I've been briefed on it all. You know, safety is a big issue, not just in Baltimore City and Baltimore County, but providing a context on the campus that's safe, people feel safe. Let me broaden it for a second, because I think it's also about free expression, of being safe to express your point of view, safe to express who you are, safe to be who you are, and to do it in a way that's lacks intimidation, lacks fear, but also the specific issue of crime, that we address crime in a preventive way as well as an interventive way. We're really fortunate, I think, to have a really good safety office and police force on campus. We have very good relationships with Baltimore County and Baltimore City Police, as well as federal authorities. I've been briefed on all of that. Yesterday, the University System of Maryland had a day-long retreat of the presidents and other senior officials of the university systems. You may have heard it on BAL and other places this morning on campus safety. Something I spent a lot of time on, by the way, George Mason. We brought to the symposium yesterday a colleague of mine who is a recently retired FBI agent who was the director of the National Center for Counterterrorism. And so what concerns me more than the safety of all of us together, it's the safety of being an open campus, which we are as a public university, and what the context of being an open campus is. So I think we have to remain vigilant. I think, but we are going to do everything we can to keep this a safe and not a secure environment, because secure means not allowing access, but an environment of access that people are free from fear. Yes, sir. Jaden, is it? I got the same picture in your nameplate. I can see it. Yeah, Director Johnstone. What's that? That's right. Okay.
All right, and after Director Johnstone, for the interest of time, we'll do 1 to 2 more questions out there.
There you go.
Thank you. I'm sure you've seen in recent times how climate change has been affecting our weather patterns
Yeah.
in Maryland. It's been getting hotter, especially in Towson, it being kind of a concrete jungle. It's been getting a little unbearable at times. How do you plan alongside your office to assist facilities, offices like energy, sustainability? How do you plan to assist them in meeting our developments that we have to meet, but
Yeah.
also exceeding them?
Yeah, I think sustainability is a big issue. It's going to be the issue of our time. It's actually going to be the issue more of your time than my time, and the issue of your children's time. And so I think we have a special responsibility as adults in of our generation, as you do as adults of the next generation, to address not just climate change, but the underpinnings of climate change through sustainability efforts, through everything we can do to propel back the environmental challenges that the planet has. Specifically, what we're going to do here, I can't tell you exactly, because I don't know exactly what we are doing already around things like solar, around energy conservation, around electricity versus gas-powered implements as well as vehicles. I just don't know everything we're doing. But I can tell you this, that it's an issue, I think, of great importance. As I said, not just for me, but for you and for your children. and that if we don't take the responsibility, we will suffer its consequences. So we're all going to work together to figure out what the right solutions are. But obviously, it's an important issue. Climate change conference going on in Dubai as we speak, actually. So there's a lot going on, right? One more question? You have time for one more? Two more? One more?
Senator Liu.
Oh, hello, President Ginsburg, thank you for coming here.
Sure.
My question for you, as you know that, the recent conflict in the Middle East has brought like tensions very high on, especially on college campus.
Yeah.
How do you plan to like, kind of like bridge the divide between like people on college campus?
Well, these are really challenging issues. We're not going to solve the challenges of the Middle East or the challenges of the last 5,000 years here at Towson University, but we have to educate ourselves about what those challenges are. And we have to be engaged, I think, in the conversations about what's happening in the Middle East. So I think there are three things actually that we can do. Really four things. One is, as the current president of the university, I'm going to continue and will plan and will continue an ongoing dialogue with all of the people with strong perspectives on this, including our Jewish students and students from the Hillel and Chabad group, as well as students from the Muslim Association, the Pakistani Association, and other student groups that may have a different perspective than some of the groups I mentioned at first. We've already convened a series of discussions that I've met with those groups personally. We're having some more discussions actually tomorrow afternoon and Thursday with those groups. And I think we have to at the university, from my perspective, at least for me, we have to model an environment where people can discuss issues. I tell the team that I work with, our cabinet, I'll come back to the specific in a second, but I tell them all the time that I want to be part of a group where people can disagree with each other, but do so in a way that's respectful and in a way that isn't disagreeable with each other. So I think what we have to do at the university, we have to preserve the opportunity for free expression. We have to preserve the opportunity for our students and our faculty and staff, for that matter, to express their point of view, but to do so in a respectful way, in a way that doesn't compromise safety or security. And if we can do that, we're going to be successful. If we begin to compromise safety and security, we're going to have to take whatever actions are required to keep the campus safe, because that's a responsibility. That's a covenant of responsibility that we have for each other, is to keep the campus safe. But with that as a proviso, I want to be sure that there's really opportunity to express different points of view, especially about a situation like this that is extraordinarily complex from every perspective. There's certainly rights and wrongs in this. I don't think there's any debate. There have been some horrible things that have happened with this. But there's also a lot of different perspectives about the origins of that and about the consequences of it. And I think those are conversations that are really worthwhile having. Yes.
Director Farmer.
Hi.
Hi.
So I'm Director Foreman. And first, thank you for coming. And I don't know if you're aware of this, but I also work in university admissions, and we are currently not allowed to take tour guides, prospective students, anybody through Freedom Square because of the conflict. And so like that has been bothering like my boss and a lot of other tour guides, because that's the whole point of Freedom Square, for us to discuss those things. So in regards to next semester, are we going to be allowed to take tour guides and families through that?
Well, take a look at that. I'll have to talk to our admission people, because I don't know exactly what the rationale is for that. I think a lot of it had to do with safety and security issues. Obviously, every campus in the country is struggling with these issues. There's not a campus in the country or a community in this country. No, campuses are really microcosms, right, of society. They're not separate from society. And so I think we're all trying to come to grips of how to handle a situation that's extraordinarily complex, extraordinarily laden with emotion, extraordinarily laden with lots of feelings and lots of potential for real challenge. So I think we're going to have to look at things, and it's evolving fast. So we'll certainly take a look at all that, particularly during this break period. The break starts in a couple of weeks. I'm really hopeful we'll see some changes in what's happening in the Middle East. Obviously, the events of the last couple of days are different than the events of 5 days ago. And so it's very worrying. to me, it's a very worrisome situation, not just here on campus, but globally. Yes. You want more? I know you're challenged for time. You okay?
Yeah, okay,
It's a follow-up to that question.
okay, you can use the mic.
Gabriella, I see your name tag.
Yes, hi.
Hi.
First of all, thank you so much for coming. We
Yeah, of
appreciate
course,
you
of course.
sharing your thoughts with us and everything.
Of
But,
course.
so kind of in a follow-up to the past two questions, how do you intend to, with the conflict going on and also just with, student groups of all types and clubs and organizations? There's been petitions going around for different issues. There's been, protests and stuff. How do you intend to protect students' rights to protest and have petitions while also remaining neutral? Because I think you mentioned keeping campus safe,
Mhm.
but I think there's been a lack of distinction on what is deemed unsafe. Because I think there's been some discrimination on what protesting is safe, what protesting is unsafe. I feel like certain groups are being excluded from the safe protesting,
Well,
right? So.
But the issue really wasn't that. The issue was where the protesting was taking place. And there are policies the university has about where such protests can take place and where they can't. And we're going to abide by those policies, and we're going to ask student groups to abide by those policies because those are the policies of the university. Having said that, though, I want to be sure that there are opportunities for students and others, not just students, to be expressive. This is a tough area in terms of, I can tell you, one of the things that have been very tough, and not just here at Towson, but around the country, is what constitutes First Amendment freedom and what constitutes freedom of speech and what constitutes hate speech, and where one begins and where one ends. And it's a very complex issue. We had about a 2-hour discussion yesterday with a number of university presidents and lawyers from the general counsel's office of the state. And it's a very complicated question. And the question that makes it so complicated is that perception becomes reality. And your perception becomes your reality, and somebody else's perception becomes their reality. So understanding where the common reality is and where the correct reality is extraordinarily difficult. So I think that's going to be where the crux of this lies, is how to do that in a way that's both fair to everybody, but protective of everybody. And that sometimes is a bit of a dialectic: fairness and protection, safety and fear. And so, you know, the challenge is, Gabriel, there isn't a playbook on this. We're all trying to evolve the right thing to do. What is it that Covey says is that both doing the right things and doing things right. And I think that's what we're going to try to do, is try to do the right things and do things right. And we may make some mistakes along the way, to be honest. But we do the best we can.
Thank you. Thank you for hosting this.
Well, thank you, guys. I won't take more of your meeting. I've taken part of it. Sean, do we get too far out of agenda?
Oh, no, it ended perfectly fine.
Okay.
All right, if anybody has any more questions, we will have a time on Thursday to ask questions and for him to give back answers at our dinner.
Email me too. If you got some things you want to talk about, or you want to give me a perspective on things, send me an email. I guarantee I'll read it. I guarantee I'll respond to it, guaranteed. And feel free. You guys have my email?
We could share it with them.
Well, if I gave it to you, you'd be emailing me, so why should it know? I'm just kidding. It's M Ginsberg, just MGINSBERG @towson.edu. So feel free to do that. And there's also, as part of this listening, hearing, understanding tour that I'm embarking on, there's a couple of places that you can send stuff. I forget, there's a bunch of, like a URL or a website or something. I'm a little out of the loop on exactly which it is, but that's another place that if you wanted to send suggestions, either personally or anonymously, you're welcome to do that too, because we really want to hear from folks. All right, with that, I'll turn it back to you.
Thank you, Dr.
All right, thank you all very much. Good to see you all. And good luck on finals. All right. All right. Tell your professors I told you to study hard. I want to score some points with them too.
All right, moving on. All right, is there any public participation at student concerns? Hearing none, seeing none, all right. Going to communications, Advisor Harris.
All right. Big one this time. Happy Tiger Tuesday.
Happy Tiger Tuesday.
It's the last one of the semester, at least for classes. This mic is not loud today. Can you hear me? Yes. Just a couple things. So, first is that this Friday is the last major event for student activities, the Blizzard. It's from 4 to 7 right here on this floor. There'll be free food, some games, a little bit of fun. So come and hang out with us. And the other things are just general updates. So one, thank you for a semester full of learning and growth. I hope you all are learning and growing from your positions and all of the things you've accomplished this semester so far. Similar to President Ginsburg's sentiments, finish your semester strong. So be great, study hard, and do well on your finals. And I hope that you all have a restful and fulfilling winter break. Thank you.
Appropriations Chair.
Happy Tiger Tuesday all. Today my committee met to review Finance Bill number 2. We decided to make sure that that was favorable, without any amendments. I also want to take the time to thank my committee, as this is my last meeting as chair and my last official meeting as a senator for the year and for my Towson career. So I also want to take the time to thank my committee for their hard work.
Right, Government Operations Committee. Sadly, this is not my last meeting. Not sadly, but you know. I got a long one sadly, sadly.